Last time on SMS vs. NES, we looked at two very different console ports of Double Dragon. This time we're going to look at something a little different. Adventure Island on the NES and Wonderboy on the Sega Master System. No, we're not comparing two different games. These are actually the same game with two different names and slightly altered sprites. Yeah, strange, I know. How does that happen? Wonderboy was an arcade game released in 1986 that was developed by Escape and published by Sega. While Escape had the rights to the game itself, Sega had the rights to all the characters and the names used in the game. So it was no problem at all to create a Master System port of the game. In order to create an NES version of the game, Escape teamed up with Hudson Soft. With a couple of name changes and a new look for the main characters, Adventure Island was born. Adventure Island has classic NES box art. It's practically begging kids to play it. Unfortunately for Wonderboy, it has classic Master System box art. A funny thing about the NES box art is that there are two pictures of Master Higgins, one that looks like him and another that doesn't look like him at all. This Master Higgins even has boobs. In Wonderboy, you're a caveman named Tom Tom whose girlfriend Tanya was captured by the evil monster Drancon. Throughout the game, your only weapon is your caveman hatchet. Be careful not to die, or you'll lose it until you stumble upon another egg. The later levels are extremely hard when you lose your firepower, so dying once can seriously impede any progress. Sometimes the game is merciful and gives you a freebie though. When you already have your weapon, the eggs may contain a skateboard, an invincibility fairy, a jar of milk that restores your vitality, or an item that gives you points. Don't touch the speckled eggs though, they contain an evil being which drains your vitality. Speaking of vitality, this is one of the most annoying aspects of the game. You constantly have to gather fruit in order to keep your vitality gauge up. Once it runs out, you're dead. This isn't too hard to do, but once in a while you'll end up losing a life because of it. I've never seen such a little dude eat so much fruit. It's the exact same deal in Adventure Island, except that you're playing as Master Higgins. This caveman wears a hat and has a large underbite and is clearly not Tom Tom at all. Master Higgins must save his darling Tina from the evil entity which has captured her. Unfortunately for Master Higgins, there's no way to distinguish between bad and good eggs in Adventure Island, aside from memorization. On the plus side, you can upgrade your weapon in this game, so you can destroy rocks and boulders with fireballs or stones or whatever that is. Both games have bonus levels, but you access them in different ways. In Wonderboy, you find different luxury items that cavemen probably wouldn't be able to identify, and a lovely cave chick comes and escorts you to a land of hearts and clouds. Literally. Conversely, in Adventure Island, you detect hidden eggs and secret platforms by throwing your weapon. If you notice your weapons disappearing in midair, that means that there's a hidden item there. Hidden platforms will take you to a secret area, where you hop from springboard to springboard collecting fruit. In both games, you also collect bonus items. Tom Tom collects dolls that earn you extra points at the end of the round, and a whole bonus area if you collect all 36 of them. I'm not sure if you'll want to do that though, since you'll have to play through 4 more extremely difficult rounds of the game just to achieve the exact same ending. Apparently this wasn't the case with the arcade version, where this was the only way to access the true ending where you save the girl. The Master System version has 9 areas with 4 rounds each, so that's 36 areas to play through with no saves and no passwords. And that's not counting the bonus level, so there's actually 40 rounds if you collect every doll. Good thing there's infinite continues. Master Higgins collects pots in order to achieve the coveted pot bonus at the end of every level. Unlike Wonderboy, the pots in Adventure Island do not give you an extra bonus level, just points. There are actually only 8 areas in Adventure Island, so you'll only have 32 rounds to play through in this game. Both games are ports of the arcade game, but Wonderboy for the Sega Master System adds 2 new areas as Area 4 and Area 8. Even though it means you have more levels to complete, they're pretty cool levels. There's very little variance in the level designs in both the games. Really, every 4th level is the same map with more obstacles each time around. In the levels exclusive to the Master System version, there's volcanoes with flying rocks, a desert level, and a level that takes place in the clouds. However, out of the 2 games, I would have to say that Adventure Island is the more challenging. Both games have the same slippery controls, enemies, and bosses, and Wonderboy may have more rounds, but Adventure Island has some obstacles that are borderline impossible. And with no continues, only 3 lives to start, and no hit points, the game can become very frustrating if you aim to make it to the final boss battle. Speaking of bosses, the bosses in this game are a cinch. I'd go as far to say that the bosses are the easiest part of the games. Every boss in both the games will lob a fireball at you once in a while. To avoid them, simply stand close to the boss and he will throw them right over your head. Shoot the dude's head a couple of times and he's a goner. Well, at least his head is a goner. You'll fight the same body with a different head at the end of the next area. The only time this strategy won't work is against the bosses at the end of the areas exclusive to the Master System version. However, these boss battles are just as simple. Just make sure you jump over the lightning bolts. At the end of the games, Tom Tom saves Tanya and Master Higgins saves Tina, and they all live happily ever after. For all the effort you have to put into beating these games, they sure do have lackluster endings. One of the most interesting details about these games is that they are not only the same game, but each game is also the first game in two completely separate series. The Adventure Island series features more games with Master Higgins fighting bad guys in pretty much the same way as the first game, while the Wonderboy series puts Tom Tom in a suit of armor and took an RPG route for the next installments in its series. So, which game wins this round? I'm actually a longtime fan of Adventure Island. It's an incredibly fun game that's simple to pick up and play when you have a couple minutes to spare. I actually went out of my way to buy a Famicom cartridge of the game, and I paid way too much for this NES cartridge at a pawn shop. I even downloaded the game on Virtual Console. That said, I'm still going to have to give the crown to Wonderboy. I hadn't played the game before this review, and it's actually turned out to be the better game. It has more unique levels, and it's more fun to play in the higher levels because it has fewer sequences that are unfairly difficult. But most importantly, it has continues. To be fair, Adventure Island also has unlimited continues. If you know exactly where this secret egg is, retrieve the Hudson Bee from within it, and then press any button on the D-pad along with the start button at the Game Over screen. Who's gonna figure that out on their own? Congratulations, Wonderboy! You are the winner! Happy gaming!